Welcome to another episode of the HomeTown podcast, where you learn more than you're taught and you know more than you've heard. Our special guest today is Grace Owens. Is that right?
Yeah.
I have to kind of hesitate because, we have so many people who have been married, have children, whatever. And then I have to think back, okay, they were Owens. It's like Heather Busby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's Heather Owens, right?
Right.
Okay.
She'll always be Busby.
She'll always be Busby. We'll call her Busby forever.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother delivers pizza to my house.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of thing that hard to, once your whatever your name is your name for the balance of time with me, and that will never change. So welcome to the show, Grace. Thanks for taking the time to be here. I always like to explain that these episodes are just really to get people to know you a little more about you, because what we're finding is it was originally designed for the public and the customer, and we thought, well, there'll be a few things that the employees or the team won't know about you that they'll learn about you. Mm-hmm. But that seems to be the predominant, or at least we get that, obviously that's the easiest feedback for us to get, is that I didn't know that's what she did. I didn't know that's where she was from. Yeah. And so you're kind of introducing yourself to them too, because you don't really get an opportunity to talk necessarily about all of those things with them. So welcome to the show. And or to the podcast, and we'll see. Where are you from? Where did you go to high school? Give us some of that background.
Born and raised in Oneonta. Went to Oneonta, kindergarten through 12th. I live in Rosa now, which is a little piece of country, but it's still close enough to stores. You're not so far out that it's inconvenient. Yeah. It's, growing up super close to the city of Oneonta, you've got Walmart right there, grocery stores right there. We're maybe 10, 15 minutes out, depending on where you go, but it's far enough away. I don't feel like I have to keep my car washed every day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, and it gives you a little space, I'm sure.
Yeah, neighbors aren't right up on you, which we live in a little subdivision, but it does, there's no HOA or anything like that, so we don't have to go. It's a lot of country people living in the country.
Yeah. So you grew up in Oneonta. Mm-hmm. Did you have some interest in high school? Did you do sports, band, anything like that? Or
I didn't do a whole lot until probably about 9th grade. I just wasn't interested in anything. My brother played baseball growing up, basketball. So I was always more involved in his sports, and I wanted to practice with his teams. Mm-hmm. I could grip a baseball. I could not grip a softball, so that was out of the question for me. But I started playing volleyball in high school, and I absolutely fell in love.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So that became your sport, I guess.
It did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Especially since we're doing the sportsplex over here.
Yeah.
A big part of that's volleyball, we're trying to make it just the premier volleyball, complex around. So that was our first. And
there's definitely a need for a spot for it in the county.
Yeah, there's a lot more people playing volleyball today than there were. I mean, just that's the way it works. But so what about children?
2 girls, 12 and 13. We've hit the teen years and preteen, so we're not quite to those attitudes yet, but it's coming.
Yeah, you can just, grin and bear it because it's coming. And it's probably,
and I know how I was.
Probably already here to a certain extent, but it's a tough spot.
Yeah, but I was very sarcastic at that age. I'm still sarcastic now, so it's not going to go really well when they hit it.
If they're sarcastic with you and you're sarcastic back, then it might be kind of funny.
A tornado.
Yeah, right. Yeah. spin
Mm-hmm.
and places get torn up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, what about how you got here to HomeTown? Did you have any jobs before us?
I did. So I started with babysitting, just for family. Let's see, I went from babysitting to Guthrie's when it first opened.
Mm-hmm.
Did cooking and upfront, cashier, whatever. Went from there to American Apparel. I worked at American Apparel as seamstress and a couple of other different jobs. I don't really know what they were called, but I did that for about a year. And then I went to work at a higher interest loan kind of company.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to another bank for about 3 months and just kind of wandered into here.
Yeah.
Yeah, never looked back.
So how did somebody go see you? Did you come see us? How did that work out?
My dad ran into Patty's husband one
Mm-hmm.
day, and they were talking about, I guess, jobs and kids because, Katie's my
Mm-hmm.
age. And it just kind of came up in conversation that the bank was looking for more people. And so I just kind of put in. I didn't really have high hopes because I'd never been in the banking industry, really. So it worked out, though. I just celebrated 15 years here. So I think we're doing okay.
Yeah. We just have an extraordinary tenure. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
more people that that I'm interviewing and we're talking to, I can see it on a piece of paper, but when I see it in the chair next to me,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of mind blowing to a certain extent that we have so many people who are 10 plus,
Mm-hmm.
12 plus, 15 now plus,
Yeah.
years. And it makes a tremendous difference in our ability to do what we do. And also your ability to be who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is the critical part, is that we're growing you too.
Yeah.
Right. And, I know that there's been lots of things going on. And what do you primarily do with the bank? I mean, what is your primary role?
More on the customer front, open new accounts, behind the teller line, just wherever I'm needed. I've answered phones. I've been on the ITM calls where you touch the ATM and it pops up one of us.
Yeah, one of the
that
funny
kinda covers
stories
it.
is Trent that works for us.
Mhm.
We had a really hard time with getting people to adopt the ITM idea that you could hit a button and see somebody,
Mhm.
and then they thought they didn't know where you might be.
Right.
And his story is, well, yeah, Danny, you were standing out there one day and you told me to hit the button, and there's Grace Owens on there. And I thought, well, holy mackerel, I've known Grace her whole life nearly, So
Yeah.
it put him right at ease, and then he went
Mhm.
on and he hadn't stopped since. So a lot of people are really hesitant to do that,
Mhm.
but our usage on those machines has gotten tremendously.
Yes,
I
I
it's grown
remember.
crazy.
Yeah. I remember getting asked one time if I was sitting in the middle of Wyoming somewhere, and I'm like, no, no, I'm in Blount County.
Yeah. And you're probably just in the back of the building or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of, in a way, that's a positive thing because we're
Mhm.
still going to be able to personalize it no matter where we go and what we
Yeah.
do. Yeah. But I know that you've had a lot of different responsibilities, but primarily all in the front of the bank.
Mhm.
So over that 15 years, you've been teller or what? And you said
Teller, new
new
accounts, comms,
Yeah.
ITMs.
Mm.
Yeah, a little bit of
Dealing
everything.
with that customer
Mhm.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any funny stories you can think of, or something that kind of sticks out as being something that you remember happening, or that doesn't necessarily have to be funny. It could be
Yeah.
unique. Like, wow, can't believe that just happened.
Well, I used to have a compilation of videos of people falling. So when we would trip or something, they'd be like, I want to see that on camera. So
Yeah.
we'd, pull it up, especially if it was that person requesting it. And I remember like Heather Keener tripped and it was raining one day and she was out back going to one of the ITMs to work on it. And she tripped. And then I used to have a video of myself walking across the parking lot and I had leftovers in my bag. And I don't know if my ankle rolled or I stepped in a hole. I don't remember. but I tripped and fell, basically face planted in the parking lot, and salad went flying. But we had different angles of that, and just because you could see it from so many different areas.
Yeah.
And it was, I think, Kayla and Haley were out there with me, and I mean, it was just chaos.
Yeah. One trip over the next, you know? Yeah, we have cameras on almost everything that we do now. And to be able to go back and look at some of that, I give Keener a hard time about her trip and roll or whatever it was in the back. Because it was absolutely pouring rain when she did that. And I guess that's just one of those things that you don't forget. And when I see her, I try to remind her that, don't you remember? Oh, yeah, she remembers real well. You probably remind her, Grace. That's probably what it is.
I've not in a long time, and she might get mad at me for saying it.
It's not her brightest moment for her.
Right. Well, it was probably not long after that when mine happened. So karma.
Yeah. So that's what happened.
Yeah.
What do you find that's unique about HomeTown Bank as far as working at here? I mean, what?
Oh, just, you go some places and it's like all the same. You have to think the same or be on some certain level of sameness, where here it's encouraged to be different, think differently, have different opinions. And I think that getting to freely think, and it's not here's your rule book, go by it.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing ever.
Well, it's always nice to hear, because that's what we're trying to strive to communicate.
Yeah.
Is that if we all think alike, we're not really a lot different than anybody else that, does what we do, right? And we got to differentiate somehow. I have this thing about people growing, and that's where I think that we're different. I think that enhances growth, is what I mean by allowing you to think a little bit different, encouraging you to be a little bit different. So what is it that you're working on now as far as something you really enjoy doing outside the bank, or a hobby, whatever? We've had people that's collecting things I never heard of before, and we've got, just things that they're doing to their house, or just whatever. Just what's happening with you?
Well, I'm a reader. I like all kinds. I'm not real big on historical. So other than historical, I'm a reader. That's more my husband's area. But other than reading, I've recently started watching Riverdale. I know it's an older show, but I've gotten sucked in. Kind of murder mystery.
Yeah. There's a whole list,
Yeah.
of the binge.
Yeah, and I'm on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, just hanging out with the girls. We had a lot of missed time during the summer with the hospitalization, so just making up time.
Yeah, well, that's great. How's she doing, by the way?
She's great.
That's fantastic. That's great to hear. Well, thanks again, Grace, for joining us on this podcast and sharing a little bit about yourself with people. And I guarantee there's going to be something out there that somebody didn't know about you. So we appreciate it again. And thanks for joining us on the HomeTown podcast. And we look forward to seeing you next time.